Hello, everybody. My name is Anthony, also known as Socialist. This is my very first Haikyu Fly High video. I just wanted to make a little guide of a timeline of banners and what to expect in the future within, events and all that stuff. As free to play, you can't really expect to pull every single UR, like including the current UR. I'm 120 pulls deep and I still haven't pulled the guy, but he's guaranteed in 20 more, so I'll get there in a day or two. But that said, you can't really expect to pull every single UR if you're free to play, so it's better to plan ahead and know which ones are going to come up and know which ones you want to pull. Let that be a character that's part of the meta or a character that's your favorite. Whatever that is, just make sure you're able to plan ahead of time and be able to pull them, which is why I wanted to make this video. Give me 1 second to swap over. There we go. Here's a little spreadsheet that I made for all of these banners. There's a bunch of SSR banners and UR banners. I'll go slowly through them so you can see the character name and the time they were released in JP. This is the very next UR we can expect, which is Kuro, who will also be part of the next event, which I'll go through later on. The next UR after that would be Bokuto. Can expect Oikawa, then the Mia twins back to back. Here's Hoshijimi. Apologies for my pronunciation. I don't have all their names memorized, so just a quick apology. Here's another UR, Yukio, Kageyama UR, and then SPs are basically just special characters. I think their base stats are slightly better than UR. So there are, SP characters are on par with UR. Bunch of SPs. Here is UR Sakusa. And then the very first UR Libero Komori. Pretty cool. And then the current banners that are running in the JP server, which are 2 SP characters. Pretty nice. I will have this spreadsheet in my Discord, which I just made. I just wanted to make a Discord so I can have all of my resources in one area that people can just go to and use. So if you do want to, open this up whenever you want to, you're more than welcome to go into my little description and find that there. I'll go through the events real quick. Here's the Crow vs. Cat, a Fated Showdown event. The Battle of Concepts, which interestingly this event is running right now. So JP had them in the other way. Well, I guess Global had them in reverse. So this Crow vs. Cat event is the next one we can expect. After that was the half anniversary, which is a while away, so I don't know how they're gonna fill in that gap. The invitation to the Passionate Sky, this will probably run before the half anniversary for Global. Here's the Strongest Challenger, the New Year's event, anniversary, and the Seaside Treasure Hunt, which I would assume will be ran every single summer, but as of right now, we're unsure. All of these are just one-time events that happen, and they go away, so gotta make the most out of them. Here are the repeated events. These are events that are really short. Most of these last for about a week. Some of these last for 2 weeks. Some of these last for a couple of days. So whenever they do happen, I would highly recommend you to make the most out of it as free to play, since you're basically getting a bunch of the basic resources for free just by playing these events. Let me show you what kind of resources you can expect. So a bunch of these limited events that don't really last long, you basically get an opportunity to get more recruit tickets. You can get more energy drinks. You can get more training manuals. Every single basic resource in the game, which is on screen right now, are things you can expect in those limited events, which I highly recommend making the most out of, especially out of those recruit tickets, because the more you have, the more chances you get of getting your SSRs that you want. Swap back. I will say Most of these SSRs are probably going to be ran simultaneously since globals, usually with gacha mobile games, they want the global version to catch up to JP. Since we're over a year behind, I'm sure, like, for example, the period between these three banners from the start to end is about 2 to 3 months. I'm pretty confident the global version of this game, which is what we're playing, is gonna have all of these characters. There's a good chance all of these characters are gonna be in a single banner, like the current banner where you're able to choose one character out of three. That's probably how they plan on catching up to JP, but that's just me assuming, so nothing's guaranteed. And with these URs, you can expect them to be reran, especially the original ones. Excuse me. Especially with the original ones, you can expect them to be reran, such as Puro, Bokuto, Oikawa, and the Mia twins. They are confirmed to be reran in JP. So even if you miss out on one, you're still able to get them later on. For example, let's say Oikawa is your favorite character in the show and you really want him. And let's say hypothetically in this instance, he's really bad, like the worst you are in the game, just hypothetically speaking. If we're currently on the Bokuto banner and you're low on diamonds, I would recommend just saving up all your diamonds and not even trying to pull it, because it's just not worth it and you'll get another chance later on. So that way when Oikawa pulls up, you'll have enough diamonds saved up and you'll be able to pull your favorite character, which, I recommend pulling your favorite characters because it's a fun way to stay engaged with the game. I do plan making a more in-depth video later on which SSRs would be most useful to pull for, which URs to skip for now, which URs to pull. I do plan on making that later on, but I don't know. You guys tell me how quickly you guys want that video. I'm also missing a lot of events. I wanted to focus on these three things because I didn't want to overwhelm people with information. I feel like these are the three most important timelines to keep in mind as free to play. Some other things that I didn't mention would be every now and then there are weekly login events that happen. Like I said, the UR reruns. They do occur often in the JP server. There's also little mini game modes that are released every now and then, and they themselves have their own events. There's also cheer banners, which I didn't include at all here. If any of these things do interest you guys, I don't mind making another video and adding them onto the spreadsheet. And like I said, this will be in the Discord, so if you guys ever want to just open this up on your own time and look through it at your own pace, you guys are more than welcome to, pull it up and download it yourself, or, make a copy of it so you can edit it however you will. Repeat events are pretty useful, especially for free to play. So just again, I'm going to reiterate, please invest in this if you're free to play, because it's already hard enough. And let me go back to the game real quick. Like I said, I couldn't really I can't even pull a single UR and I'm a couple of days deep, so it's pretty hard. I just want to show you guys my club real quick in case anyone wants to join. We're low on members. We're only 5 out of 30, sadly. We're just chilling, but if you guys would like to join, that would be amazing. And the Discord is going to be named after it, so it will be hard to forget the club name. It's a very unique name, pretty cool. Can't forget it. And if there's any specific information you guys want, such as min-maxing a specific character, let me see. Nishinoya, for instance, for characters, there's a bunch of tabs. There's the growth tab, training, skills, there's potential, there's memory. There's a lot of things that go into a character. If anyone is interested in a min-max tutorial, I don't mind, making that. Just make sure to leave it in the comments. If you guys want me to go in depth with the cheer banners, because I didn't really go through that, I don't mind doing that either, or going in depth with the limited events or the main events. I don't mind doing that as well. or any questions. Just feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them all. What I do recommend also is to save as many resources as you can when you know there's a character you want. For instance, since I'm only 20 pulls away from, I think it's Ushijima. Let me see. Yeah, since I know I'm 20 pulls away, it wouldn't be in my best interest to go into players and like find a player like Kageyama and say, hey, let me just level him up, because I'm pretty low on level and I need to raise him up to beat to beat like a certain stage. I would advise against that and just save as much XP as you can if you know there's a character you want around the corner. Save resources. As you can see, I have a lot of material saved up because I've been trying to pull this guy for a while now. So, once I do pull him, he's gonna be leveling up really fast. But if you guys ever do want any tutorials or any guides on like how to do dailies or any other guides you guys would want, I'm more than welcome to make them. I do plan on like leaving all those resources in one area, so if you do want them, make sure to join the Discord. But yeah, that's about it. Name is Socialist. Very first video, so a little nervous, but I'm glad I made it through. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye.